Hi there, hope you're doing well, and welcome to my channel. After several comments and requests, I thought I'll make a video, and today's topic is how to use outboard audio hardware compressor with your DAW hardware insert plugin on a monotrack and the TASCAM Model 12 as the audio output and input interface. Simply put, this slideshow will show you how to connect and route the audio into an outboard hardware and back into your DAW. Not every DAW supports hardware insert plugins, so check your DAW manual. Some of the DAWs I can mention that do support hardware insert plugins are like Pro Tools, Cubase, Studio One, Waveform, Cakewalk Sonar or even Cakewalk by BandLab, Reaper, and Universal Audio's Luna as of version 2.0, just to name a few. Also, I won't be going to the process of showing you how to set up the hardware insert plugins in those DAWs, but I do have several videos covering those topics, including Studio One, Cakewalk by BandLab, Waveform, Reaper, and so on. So do check out my channel for those videos if you want to learn how to set up those plugins in those mentioned DAWs. So without any further ado, let's get on with the slideshow and let me demonstrate. With the audio routing, we're going to choose any of the unused mono channels. That could be the channels 1 to 6. This is your choice. We're going to set the chosen channel's mode switch to PC. So that channel receives the signal from your DAW. We're going to set the compressor and the EQ to unity or off unless you like to add signal change. If you want to add further compression prior going out to the outboard compressor, or if you like to further equalize the signal prior to going out to the compressor. We're going to set the channel's fader to 0 all the way down, and we're going to deselect the main and sub buttons so the audio of the channel does not reach to the main output. We're going to set the channel auxiliary 1 send level to unity 0 dB. Normally this is around the 1 o'clock position. We're also going to set the auxiliary 1 master send to unity as well. Again, usually around the 1 o'clock position. Now before you ask the question, what if I want to process a stereo signal like my mix bus and my master bus? That process is slightly different, and I will demonstrate it in another video in the future. Now let's look at the connections between the Model 12 and our hardware compressor. We're just simply going to use a balance patch lead, and we're going to connect the auxiliary 1 output socket into the input of our hardware processor, in this case our compressor, and the output of the compressor will go into our chosen channel line level input. In this case, I'm using channel 6 for simplicity. For best results, I would recommend to use balance patch leads as displayed on the screen. Do not use the XLR input on the TASCAM Model 12 as that is a microphone level, and usually compressors and hardware processors are line level. That is all of the connections that we are required to do outboard processing. Next, let's have a look at the signal flow. The audio from your DAW hardware insert plugin will appear at this point, just before the compressor. The signal will pass through the compressor and the equalizer into the auxiliary 1. Both compressor and EQ will affect the audio signal as I mentioned earlier. The audio will go through the auxiliary 1 output via the master auxiliary send. The audio will return to the same channel, and note that the gain, the low cut, and instrument button will affect the audio signal. Now you may wonder that feeding the signal back to the same channel won't cause an audio loop and feedback and cause a problem. The quick answer is no. The reason is because we have selected the channel input at the mode switch as PC. So the only audio coming to the channel is via the PC through your DAW. Also, with the TASCAM Model 12, regardless of the position of the mode switch, the audio, the analog audio coming in to that channel will always go to the appropriate USB channel. This feature allows us to use just one channel to send the audio out to our outboard processing and return back to the same channel. And then the return audio will go into your DAW's hardware insert plugin return point. If this all sounds confusing, you could watch it again or use the comment section below to ask further questions, and I'm more than happy to answer them for you. Next, let's have a look at the levels. We need to set the correct audio levels for the signal going out and coming back. To do that, we're going to use the auxiliary 1 master send level to set the appropriate output signal level. While the hardware is in bypass mode, if it's available, use its input signal meter for best results. So you watch the signal on your compressor, monitoring the input of the compressor, and then adjust the level of your either the auxiliary 1 master send or the hardware compressor's input level to get a reasonable good level. And on the way back, while we receive the signal, while you have the channel input gain at unity at 0 dB, adjust the hardware output gain level to appropriate level. And then use the Model 12's built-in live input level meters to achieve a good result. And always watch the levels during mixing session as well to avoid any distortion. Another quick note is that make sure no other channel is using the auxiliary 1 send, unless this is what you desire to do, sending 2 signals into the 1 compressor. Having a good signal level is a key for a successful and clean audio path. And that's it for today's video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, make sure you give it a like and share. In the near future, I will be making another video covering a stereo version of the same topic, as it slightly differs from the mono version. Till next time, as always, thanks for watching and have a great time making music. Catch you in the next one. Cheerio.